Good afternoon. I am Angela Durden, and before we get started, I want to play a video, way old video, and then I'll tell you why I'm playing it. You might remember this song.
The 60 fastest, funniest minutes on TV. The Alan Sherman Show.
Here's the song.
Hello, Muddah. Hello, Faddah. Here I am at Camp Granada. Camp is very entertaining, and they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters, and the lake has alligators. And the head coach wants no sissies, so he reached to us from something called Ulysses. Now I don't want this should scare you, but my bunkmate has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party. Take me home, oh Muddah, Faddah, take me home. I hate Granada, don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home, I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Dearest Faddah, darling Muddah, how's my precious little brother? Let me come home if you miss me. I would even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Just a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better. Muddah, Faddah, kindly disregard this letter.
I love that song. Yeah, why am I bringing it up? Because that song will not be able to be played in Wisconsin anymore. That's right. The governor and other political people are changing the meanings of, or changing what you can call a mother and a father. Mothers are to be called inseminated persons. So, hello, inseminated person. Hello, instead of father, be natural parent. Can you imagine that song? These things don't even rhyme. Inseminated person, natural parent don't even rhyme. And it would mess up the meter of the song. But there's 49 other states and where we can still sing it. So we should be happy about that. One other quick note from George Burns. George Burns has been dead quite some time now, but he and his wife had a show. She was Gracie Allen, and they had a show, very popular, but they had been on, uh, stage for many years, traveling around. And George was famous for saying that he had 20 minutes of material, and it lasted him for 20 years. And then TV came in. He said, now 20 minutes of material lasts 20 minutes. And now we can't even say Muddah if we're in Wisconsin. Well, that's just sorrowful. Okay, I have a quick story. the Social Security, Doge is after Social Security. Well, you know, they're going to be after everybody. And for those that don't know, Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency, which, by the way, this department, while it's been renamed Doge, is one that Obama set up to fix a problem that his wife's friend caused when she put together the uh, Affordable Care Act website. You know, remember Obamacare? Well, anyway, um, Doge, go Doge, is having some effect. For several years now, you haven't been able to get anybody on the phone at Social Security. You haven't been able to ask them any questions. Go to the website, it's not working properly, all this stuff. Yeah. So Doge now has identified 10 different states, one office in each, that will be shut down of the Social Security agency. It tells the states, it tells the cities, New York, Virginia, California, North Carolina, Arkansas, Ohio, Michigan, Texas, Wisconsin, and Nevada. Don't know what these offices do. I have not been able to find out anything specific about that. So just keep an eye on it. But here's what was interesting. The Social Security Commissioner, Martin O'Malley, he says they cannot keep doing more with less. So, you know, don't shut down our offices. Yet, I'll tell you what they have been doing. They've been doing less and less until in 22, 23, and 24, it was almost impossible to even make an appointment with your local Social Security office, and the website wasn't working either. So the answer to those woes is not more employees, and it's not throwing more money on it, but the efficiencies that the Doge department is going to identify as lacking. The removal of deadweight employees. Don't get me started on deadweight employees. I got a story about that too, and I'll tell it to you shortly. Clearing the roles of fraudsters and better built technology, something that will actually work. Okay, let's talk about deadweight employees. I've been in business for myself since 1992, and I have done a lot of things for a lot of companies, and small companies, large companies, things that they just couldn't figure out what to do. And so somebody would say, do you have an idea? And I would say, well, yeah. And next thing you know, I was a consultant. I'll take it. But this one particular company one time, um, it, it was very interesting. The manager for his office, he said, you know, we've got so much paperwork that needs to be input into the computer, and our people just can't keep up. But is there any way for about a week or so you could just kind of come in and take some of the pressure off? I said, you mean like sitting in front of the computer and inputting stuff? He said, yeah. I said, of course. You know, I'll take the money. So he agreed to my pricing because it was going to help him. So I show up, and there's this large room, and there's all these, they were all women. I don't recall seeing any men in the room. And they were all had these stacks of stuff next on their desk, and they were all supposed to input stuff. And there was one computer that didn't have anybody at it, so I went and sat there, and somebody came and told me what I was to do. And it was very simple. It was simply taking the information from a handwritten form, okay, and putting it into the proper field as that form was on the computer, putting it into the proper field, confirming that it was correct, saving it, moving on. That was it. It was not hard. So I'm sitting there, and I had been given a stack, about this big, and the manager had said, listen, you know, I know this is going to be hard, so just Don't worry about how much you get done. Just slog away. In about 25, 30 minutes, I had this stack done and double checked. And I went looking for the manager. I need some more. He goes, are you finished? I said, yeah. He said, with that whole stack? I said, yes. He said, you're finished. I said, yes, it's done. And I double checked it. Everything's accurate. He said, I've never seen anybody do it that fast before. I said, oh, well, maybe that's why y'all are behind. So anyway, he said, okay. So he gives me a bigger stack. And I sit there and do it. It takes a couple of hours. I get all of it done. And then this woman comes over to me and she says, you need to slow down. I said, I need to slow down. She says, yes. I said, but I'm hired to make it get done. She said, well, so are we. And I said, but you're not doing it. So why do I have to slow down? Well, it's because I was making them look bad. And she told me that. She flat out said, you're making us look bad. I said, oh. So I finished my stack. I went to the manager and I said, let me explain what just happened. He goes, I already know. He said, they're all mad that you're in there and you're going so fast. I said, well, then the problem isn't that there's too much work. He said, yeah, I now know that. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, that's that about efficiency. Okay. The Social Security press office, if you go, you know what, if you're on Twitter, X, you need to go to at SSA Press, PRESS. Lots of press releases there and information, and with links that goes directly to their sites of things that they're telling you about. I have subscribed to it or followed it. I think is what it's called, is followed, and I find it very interesting. And the reason I found it is because somehow or another, somebody, I think it was somebody on X, shared a news release from the Social Security Administration, and it was about the statement from Lee Dudek. He's the acting commissioner until the other guy gets sworn in from congressional meetings. You know how that goes. But it's about the commitment to agency transparency and protecting benefits and information. He goes on to say he's honored, blah, blah, blah. But now he starts out, he says, I accepted the position because I strongly believe in the agency's mission and the hardworking and dedicated employees who serve America. Okay, that's all great and that's all wonderful. And he goes on and on and on about basically in lots of words about how he's a friend of the president and of Doge, and he's going to make it all work. And he says he's invited the Government Accountability Office, the nonpartisan and independent agency that works for Congress, to observe how we conduct agency business. Well, I think the message is already trickling down, because I had to call the for several years I've been trying to get a hold of the Social Security office here in the Metro Atlanta area, and I'm not going to mention anything because I don't think it's their fault. But the website wasn't working. I would call. They'd say you have a 80-90 minute wait time, which I've waited 2 or 3 times to get through that way. Nobody ever came to the phone. Other times it says if you want to be called back on the number from which you're calling, and we'll save your place in line. Never got a call back from that. And I thought, I see this press release today. And I said, let's just see how things are working. So I called the number, got the same typical, your wait time is blah, blah, blah. If you want to be called back, hit 1. I said, I'll call back. Do you know that within, where did I write that down? I wrote it down somewhere. Doesn't matter. I got called back within 90 minutes, which is what they said approximately it would be. The person on the phone was so helpful. She was friendly. How can I help you? Boom, boom, boom. I had my answer to everything I needed within 10 minutes. That's how those types of agencies used to work a long time ago, because the people that worked there knew they were working for the taxpayers, the taxpaying citizen, and other citizens. Because there's some taxpayers that aren't, some citizens that aren't paying tax because of their situation. There's uh, children who receive certain social security benefits. They don't pay taxes, but they need to get it because their parent has died, and the other parent that's left needs the help because they're in that particular economic strata, whatever that is. So anyway, that was very interesting, and I got that done. Oh yeah, and then so I thought, well, I'm going to look around at some of the other press releases. Here's another press release from the Social Security Administration. Social Security eliminates wasteful department. The Social Security Administration today announced the closing of a component within the agency, the Office of Transformation. Employees in this office will be put on administrative leave effective today. Doesn't really say what the Office of Transformation is, but obviously it wasn't needed. Boom. Done. They're getting the news. Let's see, here's another one. Social Security announces change to improve agency operations and strengthen protections. The Social Security Administration is announcing an organizational realignment of the functions provided by its Office of Analytics, Review, and Oversight. These functions remain critical to ensure the programs Social Security administers are of high quality and effective, that SSA uses the latest tools to recommend opportunities to improve the programs and to detect and prevent fraud. Oh, that's yay. Let's see here now. It will, taking these functions and moving them to existing parts of the agency will streamline layers of management, increase data sharing with essential Social Security components, and speed the opportunities to identify fraud, waste, and abuse, and implement needed solutions. Awesome! Well, that's all I'm going to share with you today, but go to X, look at SSA Press. Once you find the website where all these press releases are on, you should be able to just go to that website from that point on. Okay, let's see. Starbucks. Okay, I stopped going to Starbucks because there was just too many bad attitudes from the people that work there. There was not a friendly atmosphere of the people sitting in the place. Nobody wanted to talk. Nobody wanted to say hey. And then around the metro area, especially of Atlanta, I can't answer for any other parts of Georgia, we started getting the Starbucks lobbies as places for drug addicts and other street people of whatever type they may be. to just sleep there, use the bathrooms. They were leaving them dirty. Uh, so I just said, I don't need this. Well, a lot of people must have been saying it. Anyway, Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol announced Monday that the company is laying off 1,100 corporate employees as it works to simplify operations. They got bit by the Doge bug. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency allows frontline employees to do their jobs. We are simplifying our structure, removing layers and duplication, and creating smaller, more nimble teams. Nicole said in a letter to employees, our intent is to operate more efficiently, increase accountability, reduce complexity, and drive better integration, all with the goal of being more focused and able to drive greater impact on our priorities. They're also getting rid of certain few drinks, those that aren't ordered very often, and so what's the point of carrying them? It's just wasted space. So I love it that they got bit by the Doge bug. And then, of course, we've got gold in Fort Knox. It's very interesting. A governor of Kentucky, a past Republican governor of Kentucky, told about how he got to go in there with the head of the Treasury Department and see the gold. And so he said he believes the gold is still there. It was in 2017 when he went, but he said that it's hard to come out of that place with any gold. First of all, one bar weighs almost 30 pounds. Where in your pants you gonna put that without dragging them down? Not only that, they weigh you before you go in, and they weigh you after you come out. So yay! So I'm looking forward to. I would certainly hope that if Musk goes, that Trump goes with him, because this would be Trump's opportunity to get inside and say he saw it, even if it was live streamed. And I don't know if it would be able to be live streamed. The security is very tight. They don't want to give away anything. So I say the gold is there. Otherwise, that governor, that past governor of Kentucky, is lying, because the amount of gold in there, there's just no way it could have been taken out in bits and pieces. Just no way. So it's there. Although he said it's possible that somebody got out with a bar or two here and there, but not the whole stash of it. But hey, maybe we should call Geraldo. Let's get Geraldo Rivera. Wow, wouldn't he just love to be on hand when they opened that door and he looked in and said, "It's there." What if it wasn't there? He would be even happier. Maybe we'd stop all the jokes about him. Okay, so that's that. Okay, Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. That song. If you don't know that song, sung by her, there's been some others who've tried to redo it in a, there was one that was a hip-hoppy style, and there's been a couple others in some kind of jazzy style. But you know what? Nothing's going to ever be better, because that woman's voice, my God, it was great. She was 88 years old. Lou Gehrig's disease she's had, and that's just sad. That's just really sad. I know 2 people have died of it. Well, no, I knew a husband and a wife who both got it. He died. She nursed him. A few years later, when she found out she had it, she killed herself. She said, "I ain't going through that." Boom, she was dead. Okay. Oh, did I get that? I'm going to have to save this for another time. But I do want to say that DeKalb County, Georgia, there was a press conference, and I believe it was the Channel 5 reporters that were there. I think it was the Channel 5. Kudos to those people. Kudos. I listened to that entire press conference. It's on YouTube. And the county commissioner, the president of the body, or whatever she calls herself now, along with police, were all lined up there, and they answered questions that were absolutely questions that real reporters would ask, and that people like me who live in the county would like to know. Kudos to them. I can't wait for more of this to happen. Because, man, ratings are down, y'all. The ratings are way down. Okay, let's talk about one other thing. May 2020, the George Floyd riots were beginning. Somebody tried to start it in Atlanta, and it was not long after that there was a Wendy's in Atlanta was burnt down because and a little girl, 8-year-old girl, was killed trying to get away from it in her car, and somebody shot at the mother, missed, and hit the little girl in the back seat dead. That was not good. But anyway, here's these riots, and I was I on YouTube? I think I was. I think somebody on Facebook was live streaming. I happened to see it. I clicked and went to the YouTube, and there they were live streaming at the CNN Center there. There's down in the streets. There's all these people standing around, and I looked down at this, watching this scene, and I said, oh my God, this is not what we now call an organic event. This was not people just saying, this frickin' thing was staged. I saw three men at different places. Okay? They were communicating with each other, and one was listening. And they all just were there. People were going, boo, boo, whatever they were doing. But there wasn't any violence. There was none. And then this one fella, he was given a nod, and he tried to start something with somebody standing next to him. And that person said, no, we ain't doing this. And then the fellow with the thing in his ear got the message, and he gave the high sign to these other two. And that's when bricks started flying, police car was attacked, some sort of Molotov type cocktail was thrown. And I'm watching this going, what the hell? And boom, that feed was cut. It was over. And I've never seen that footage again. That's twice this sort of thing has happened. One was on January 6th, live streaming at DC. Never have found that either. That totally put the lie to what was being reported on the news. Same way with this down here. Ticked me off. Well, we're finding now that this how these things happen, these non-organic events, were all funded by laundered money going through USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, was paying people to riot. This is not funny. It is not funny. I've got a lot of little things here, but if Neil deGrasse Tyson is watching this, I'm very disappointed in you. Very disappointed. He has tried very hard to support the woke ideology, and he's dancing way too hard now. He's dancing way too hard, and he's not making sense. So I don't trust anything he says, nothing. Now, he might be a good celebrity and this sort of thing, but he is not a real scientist. And I'm ashamed of you, sir. Anyway. Now, let's talk about science. There's a website called retractionwatch.com. I subscribe to them, send them money every now and then. They deal with peer-reviewed papers and where they find out if they've been retracted or if they've been plagiarized and who did it and who paid for it. And there are scientific paper mills You know what I mean by that? Who churn a lot of this stuff out to support anything that somebody wants, that, and they could say, see, that would be Neil deGrasse Tyson. I have a study. It says it was just a fake one. So if you want to get on their email list, go to retractionwatch.com. I get a lot of information through there that I'm finding, okay, I already had this thought that this wasn't right, and now here I now know why. It was a fake paper. I'm only going to say one thing about MSNBC. Read out. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. That's it. I think by now we know that Friedrich Merz is the Chancellor-elect of Germany. And goodbye, Angela Merkel. Never liked that woman from the first time I saw her. And she's done nothing good for that country at all. Anyway, he is 69 years old. She kicked his butt in politics 20 years ago, and he just went, eh. And he's been doing other things, but you know what? He is over it. So he won this time. He said that his election is a vindication of his more conservative, less environmentally alarmist, more alliance-minded views. So we're seeing that around the world. France, Macron just visited Trump. He might be left already today. I don't know, but today is the 25th. But before, when he was talking big about, we're going to do this, you can't make us blah, blah, blah. Now all of a sudden he is singing from the hymnal, and he's singing the same tune. Not even trying to make up his own words, because he's seeing that this isn't a time to be playing politics or playing at politics. There's a lot of bad going on in this world, and we got to kick ass. Did I say ass? I didn't mean to say ass. Oh dear, I said it 2 more times. It's time to kick butt. There. We're going to do that much better. Okay, Dan Bongino. He will serve as the Deputy Director of the FBI under Kash Patel. I think he will be taking his post sometime first part of March at some point, so that's not too many days away. This fella has been horrified. He was Secret Service. He's done a lot of other things too. He's just only in the last few years done the radio podcast thing, and very well, I will have to tell you. But he was horrified at how the FBI and other parts of the Justice Department had been weaponized against the American people, not just against Trump. Trump was just the target when they were able to say, yeah, you fall in the line or we're going to do the same thing to you. Bongino was sick of it, tired of it, heartbroken. He is so happy now to be able to help right some of the wrongs. Okay, suddenly train robbery is back in the news. When's the last time it was in the Jesse James? Back in the what? Late 1800s, early 1900s? Modern day gang of train robbers is targeting freights traveling through California, Arizona. They seem to be targeting the freights that have Nike shoes and other high-end type shoes, and it's got to be an inside job that's helping them identify which trains these things are on. Anyway, they found some of them, but here's the latest from the Association of American Railroads. They estimate there are at least 65,000 railroad burglaries in 2024. costing the nation's largest railroad companies more than $100 million. The figures may be undercounted because not all thefts are reported and only become public after criminal complaints are filed with the courts. So, you know what? I guess it's been going on longer than I thought. I just assumed, I mean, how do you rob a train these days? Oh, wait. It was in the article. It said the bad guys managed to surreptitiously get onto the trains. And when they are going through a very remote area, they will then cut the brake lines. That's what it is. And the train has to stop. And then they proceed to take what they want. This is not good. Okay, let's see what else we got here. The Army Choir performs Les Mis anthem about protesting the king. They did this for a Trump situation. It says the internet has questions. As the governor's ball attendees, that's what it was. You know what? The internet might have questions, but who cares about the internet? What does the internet, it's the only people the internet quotes is the internet. So Trump loved it. It is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, that Trump loves opera. So he was going to be totally happy about this, especially the theme song from Les Mis is about standing up to a king who is a tyrant. Now, the internet, and I'm not going to give you those ironic quotes anymore, but the internet is pretty much populated with a lot of nut jobs. Let's just call them what they are, nut jobs. So here we got these nut jobs saying, even the governor's ball wanted to get back at him and play something to let him kind of subtly know that he's that tyrant king. No. Trump loved the theme song. He loved the way they sang it. The reason he loved it is because we've had the tyrants in place. Obama, 8 years of that man. Now, when he was first running, a friend asked me, he said, do you think he's going to win? I said, yeah, he's going to win. And he said, you like Obama? I said, no. You asked me if he was going to win. Yes, he's going to win. The second time he ran, it was a foregone conclusion. He was going to win. And not because he was more liked. In fact, if I remember correctly, his numbers were even lower. But he squeaked by. But by now we're starting to get a taste of who he is. And people just thought, if I don't vote for him, then they're going to say that I am a racist. People were already getting scared of the intimidation that was being lobbied out towards everyone. Okay, so there's that. Then came 4 years of Trump, and he just did not get to do everything he wanted to do. Number one, he didn't know everything there was needed doing. He, for all he knows about the world and business and this sort of thing, he is an innocent babe in the woods sometimes. And I'm glad that he had his eyes open when he lost and then he got elected again. And he has, 35 days now? Something like that. Kicking butt. I was a good girl. And they don't know what to do. They just don't know what to do. And that shows they're falling apart. That shows they did not have anything but bully tactics and sneakiness. That's all I had. Well, I think that's all for today. I have done my stack of things that I've been saving up for y'all. And we will see you guys later, I guess. Sounds good.